Hey, so you know how playoff Morgan Riley is a thing? I do. Is playoff overtime Simone Benoit seriously a thing? Buddy, I'm learning all this at the exact same time you are. Let's go! Do you have a humiliation kit? This is all I ask you to do. I'm having a great finger flick. You're allowed to show up. This team is ruining my life. I'm taking crazy pills. With you, wherever you are, welcome to LFR. Victory, puppies, Iggy! Game 1! Yeah, bud! Game 2! Yeah, bud! Game 3! Yeah, buddy! The Leafs! Oh, no. I can't do it yet. I gotta prepare. I gotta prepare like the greats. I gotta prepare like the best passion havers on this hockey team. Simone Benoit, noted milk drinker. If it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me. Slanja. Feeling good, feeling great. Leafs win! 3-2 in overtime in Game 3, thanks to the overtime heroics of Simone Benoit again! And they take the 3-0 series lead for the first time since 2001. Let me tell you something right now. In this house, Simone Benoit is a hero and a story. Dude, my four-year-old darling baby boy, he's in junior kindergarten and he loves hockey. And for some reason, he has decided he loves Simone Benoit. Austin Matthews is his favorite Leaf, but Simone Benoit is one of his favorite Leafs. I think it's because one time I asked him to name all the Leafs he knew, and he said Simone Benoit, and I was so impressed. I was just like, wow, and he like fed off that. He's like, yeah, Simone Benoit, that's my guy. So finally one day I go, Leo, guess what? You want to know what Simone Benoit's favorite drink is? And he goes, what? And he said it like that because he's 4 and he gets jacked for everything. What? I said, it's milk. And he looks at me and I go, he loves to drink a glass of milk. And Leo paused for a second and thought, and he goes, can I have a glass of milk? And I poured him a cup. I didn't give him a glass. I poured him a cup of milk, and that kid slammed it like he was Kurt Angle. Benoit! 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 And he was so pumped to be drinking a glass of milk just like his hero, Simone Benoit. And dude, tomorrow morning, that kid gets to wake up and find out Simone Benoit scored a playoff OT winner. Corey Cross rides again in Ottawa! Let's talk about that game, but first, hey, you like making things shiny? Oh, you know the kind of things I'm talking about. What kind of things do you think I'm talking about? That's right, your car! With the right tools, cleaning your car really doesn't take all that long, and Silver Wax is the right tool. Proudly made right here in Canada. Silver Wax has spent years fine-tuning their products, making them as powerful and foolproof as they can, which I take to mean even I could do it. Cleaning is only a hassle if you make it. Silver Wax formulas do most of the cleaning for you. But Steve, what do I even get? They have so much stuff, let me tell you. Nano Diamond Ceramic Quick Wax, that's $29.99. Plus Insect Remover, that's $14.99. Silver Wax takes absolute care of your car. Find Silver Wax products at your local Canadian Tire or at silverwax.ca. Oh, and don't forget to use the promo code DANGLE10, D-A-N-G-L-E 10 at checkout. Why? Because you'll save 10% off your next order. Silverwax.ca. Thank you to Silverwax for sponsoring this joyous LFR. Buddy, what a. So here's what we got heading into this game. The Leafs have a 2-0 series lead, but you have two teams who believe in themselves big time. The Leafs win game 1 like very handily, but you still had a little bit of cope from Ottawa, like, well, the 5-on-5 battle, the 5-on-5 battle. Game 2, that was a lot closer. In fact, it needed overtime. In fact, it needed Simone Benoit in overtime to, lead the rush from his own zone into their zone, going from the left to the right side of the ice, creating a turnover at the beginning of it, and then drop passing it for Max Domi and setting up a screen. I don't recognize him either. But the Sens can feel a lot better about themselves after game 2. You're still down 2-0, which sucks, but you believe more in your hearts after game 2. You can beat these guys. First period of this game, I tell you what, Leafs were very, very, very lucky to get out of it with a tied 0-0 game. At one point, the Leafs were getting outshot into oblivion in terms of shots on goal and shot attempts. By the end of the period, believe it or not, the shots were only 8-7 in favor of Ottawa, so the Leafs crawled back in that regard. They were still keeping a lot to the outside. They were still blocking a lot, causing the Sens to miss and all that. But anyone watching, the eye test, the numbers, didn't matter. The Sens controlled the first period. So Anthony Stolarz and the Leafs did their job. The second period, you have no choice. You have to be better if you're Toronto. And the way it starts, I'll admit, kind of not great. You see, the Ottawa Senators, I'm not even going to get on their fans because their fans have been behind this, but the NHL doesn't. Sens fans and Leaf fans, I think we can agree on this. They don't listen to us. But Travis Green has been leading this ridiculous campaign about the officiating, about the Leafs having too many men on the OT winner, even though the Sens very clearly had too many men on the OT winner. The guy is trying to advocate for more advantageous officiating for his team through the media, like John Cooper, if John Cooper had no idea what he was talking about. So the first penalties of the game, Brandon Carlo and David Perron, man, they don't like each other. All right, it's coincidental, it's fine. It's a good trade for Ottawa, though. You take out a defenseman who's in the Leafs' top four, and David Perron, who's a very good player still, but he's on their fourth line tonight. Any fourth liner, I don't care how good they are, I don't care if they're on your secondary power play unit. If you can take off someone in the Leafs' top four, that's a good trade. So it's 4-on-4. Brady Tkachuk drives the net, and he is hauled down by John Tavares. And by hauled down, I mean Brady Tkachuk fell down like an empty cereal box. And already I'm like, I don't want to hear it about the refs this time. Fast forward, the Sens dominating. They're doing very well. Leafs take back a little bit of ground. Late in the period, Brady Tkachuk elbows Pontus Holmberg. They called it roughing, which is dumb. It wasn't roughing, it was elbowing. You stick an elbow out, you might not get called. If you wind up like Brady did and nail Holmberg, that's gonna get called. And immediately he's politicking to the refs. He's advocating. Oh, that's soft, that's so soft. And the Leafs get the power play and they don't do much with it, and that's their fault. But the advocating clearly worked. Because at the very end of the period, Matthew Knies is cross-checking his man. In this case, it was Ridley Gregg, so it's great. No, you're not allowed to do it, but I get it. You know what I mean. And Thomas Chabot is cross-checking him from behind. Like Knies, multiple cross-checks. Chabot, multiple cross-checks. Let's be honest, they both should have been gone. It was like a cross-checking human centipede, a cross-checking conga line. Whichever comparable is more stomachable to you. Human centipede came out before conga line. Do I talk to my therapist about this? Anyway, at the end of the period, Knies is the only one who goes off. Now, the reasoning that I heard was, well, he did one that was after the final horn, and Chabot did not. Oh, okay. So cross-checks are allowed during play. Cool, A-okay, fine. A millisecond after the horn, go to the box. After the first period, I'm already thinking of every moan and groan that I've read out of Ottawa, and I'm already sick of it. If the calls were going against you unfairly in the first two games, this game wipes that out. Now, 45 seconds into the second period, this one's on the Leafs. William Nylander, he's doing some good things. He's holding onto the puck on his own. He's waiting for reinforcements. The Sens get it. They try to get around him. He sticks out his leg. And he trips. Oh, it's Ridley Gregg. Of course it's Ridley Gregg! That, from Willie, was a terrible, terrible penalty to take. And they're already down. And this is the way it happens. Knies takes a BS penalty at the end of the second. Kills the power play right away. So now it's 4-on-4. Willie takes another one. Brady Tkachuk is out of the box. Guess what? It's a 5-on-3 and a long one. They tried and they almost got it down to at least a 5-on-4. But Claude Giroux, I was wondering when you would show up. Leaf killer snipes it, and the Sens take their first lead of the series. And because Knies wasn't out of the box yet, he gets out of the box there, but Willie has to stay in the box, and the Leafs just surrendered a goal. So they still have another minute or so on the penalty kill after that. After a bad first period, gotta tell you, that's a terrible start to the second. Pinto and Benoit each go off for roughing. I take that trade. Unless, wait, when did it happen? Was it overtime? Oh, it wasn't? Oh, okay, no, then good trade. And then Drake Batherson goes to the box for, let me just read it here. Says here the refs hate the Ottawa Senators. And they love, and the league loves, and Gary Bettman loves the team that hasn't won a Stanley Cup or even made it to the Stanley Cup final since 2 years prior to the moon landing. Yep, the conspiracy stinks to the top. Oh, the league has always been rigged in favor of the Leafs because this league is obsessed with money and always has been. This league that produced bangers such as a Tampa-Calgary Stanley Cup final, a lockout, a Carolina-Edmonton Stanley Cup final, and an Anaheim-Ottawa Stanley Cup final. Consecutively. Those were 4 in a row. It's rigged. I know Gary Bettman cried real tear. I'm talking ugly cry. What fell to his knees when Connor McDavid went to the Oilers. Yes, the league that had games on the Outdoor Life Network has been rigging games for the Leafs for years because they need the money. Anyway, sorry. The Leafs get the power play. Nyes, he has a chance to do something, but he's got to do it weird. He's got to pass it behind him, and he doesn't do it. Puck's getting worked around after that. Marner and Willie, and Nyes gets it again, and he's in the exact same position. He throws it behind him, hoping a friendly stick touches it, and it doesn't. Because it hits an unfriendly skate and goes in, which makes it a friendly skate. Austin Matthews nearly gets a piece of it, but he didn't need to. Matthew Nyes. Yes, it goes off of a skate. Yes, there is an element of luck, but you get luck going in your favor when you go to the net! And almost exactly 7 minutes after the Sens take their first lead of the series, Nyes ties it. In fact, look at this. The Sens have led for, it was actually less than 7 minutes through 3 games. Later in the second period, the league is rigged in favor of the Leafs. Exhibit 5000. Steven Lorentz goes off for literally barely touching Tim Stützle. The official call on the ice was actually 2 minutes for we're trying to make it not look obvious, you know. Sorry, Leafs, we gotta give you some time. Listen, I'm not calling Tim Stützle a diver. I saw a lot about Tim Stützle being a diver and soccer and all of that. But when they say diver, I think we need to get away from that term. The reason we need to get away from that term is diving can be useful. For example, if you don't want to get rocked into the weekend by Steven Lorentz. So in this instance, Tim Stützle is very literally a diver. But was he embellishing on purpose? Was he trying to make something that was not a penalty look like a penalty? I'm actually going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say no. However, he did get a penalty called in his team's favor because... Wait! I am looking to make history that is the world's first ever non-contact trip. Oh, Steven, don't worry. I know you saw that call, but I'm still rigging it in favor of your team that hasn't been to the Stanley Cup final since the Vietnam War. I'm still... Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. It's rigged. It's definitely rigged in favor of your team. They're starting to catch on, so I'm trying to, just take the heat off us. All right, see ya for beers after the game there, Steven. Have I made my point yet? You think I have, but I got more. So anyway, luckily, thankfully, the Leafs and Anthony Stolarz, that big, beautiful man, kill that off, and we head into the third period with a 1-1 tie. Are we gonna see overtime again? No, said Austin Matthews! Morgan Riley, who hilariously, despite having 2 goals, has no assists in the series, gives it to Mitch Marner behind the net. Marner doesn't even hold the thing. He lifts his leg like a dog taking a pee to just chop the puck, just pinball the puck, straight to Austin Matthews. You want to know how sick of a pass this was? This is the starting goaltender of the Ottawa Senators who makes $8 million, and the guy getting the puck, who he is not looking at, is the greatest goal scorer in the world, who had a down season scoring at still a 95-point pace. Austin Matthews buries it, his first of the series. He's in the mix, and the Leafs, 32 seconds into the third, take the lead. Can they hold it? The shame of the fact that they couldn't is that the third, to me, was their best period. Well, I mean, it was overtime, but we weren't there very long. The third period I thought was their best period, and it was Craig Berube, boa constrictor, time vampire hockey. Puck goes this way, puck goes that way, some stuff happens. It's not boring, but it's a bunch of busy nothing going in both directions. It was very simple. Sens put the puck deep, Leafs try to get rid of it as fast as possible. Leafs put the puck deep, and they keep it there for as long as possible. Both situations, the puck goes deep, and it's behind the net, where it's very hard to score from. It's possible, but very difficult. And the clock, every time you looked up, There goes another 45 seconds. There goes another minute. There goes another 30, and they're just bleeding the clock dry. But the Sens were probably due a goal like this. Brady Tkachuk, accused of sucking, doesn't. He decides, you know what? What if I just Gronk this thing through everybody? He carries it in, takes the shot, and I couldn't believe it went in. Anthony Stolarz, who's been so good, I think this went off Brandon Carlo's stick. In fact, I'm almost positive that's you gotta give Stolarz the benefit of the doubt. I don't care who it is, Brady Tkachuk, Nikita Kucherov, Wayne Gretzky, Alex Ovechkin. No one's got a shot like that. Okay, maybe they do. This shouldn't have gone in. But I think Carlo deflected it. It went in. And the roof blows off the place. The game is tied with under 9 minutes to go. And Brady says, "Get up! Our house!" Which preemptively answered the Jeopardy question, where are you about to go down 3-0 because of Simone Benoit? And the Senators tie it. Now, rest of the third period, it's a harrowing experience for all involved. Puck going both ways, chances both ways. Mitch Marner cutting to the middle in the Sen zone with about 90 seconds to go. And Jake Sanderson slide tackles this man with his entire body, and Marner falls to the ice. I'm sorry, that is 173,842,000.69% more of a legitimate tripping call than the Lorentz one on Stützle. So it was a very strange thing for me to see on account of knowing in my heart, seeing it, the evidence of my eyes and ears, that the league is rigged in my team's favor. As a guy who has been used to nothing but endless good fortune for the Toronto Maple Leafs, I'm known for it. Remember that time one of their own employees went in net in a game that counted and they shelled him with like 20 goals? Yeah, it was a great time. I couldn't believe it. Now, of course, my team hasn't missed the playoffs every year since 2017, so I know this is the flavor of the game now. First period, second period, 10 penalties were called. You'll never guess, as long as you live, how many penalties there were in the third period. Go ahead, guess. None? There were none. Well, and it's because it's the third period and everyone was more disciplined. Will you grow up? It's because of game management. And so, we head to overtime for the second straight game, only this time it's in Ottawa. Offensive zone draw for the Leafs. Go Sens, go! Raining down on them! Austin Matthews wins the draw back to Simone Benoit, the left defender. And the Leafs go to the net. What do? They go to the net! And it's Matthew Nyes in front of the net. And it's Austin Matthews in front of the net. The left-handed stalwart back there, OEL. He scored a bazillion goals in his career. Surely, Benny is about to set him up for the 1T through traffic. And this man, Simone Benoit, who wasn't even given a qualifying offer from the Ducks after a year stapled to John Klingberg, walks in and snipes it through traffic. Look at it. He doesn't even know what to do with himself. The building doesn't even know what to do with themselves. Spartacat doesn't even know what to do with himself. This photo of Spartacat behind Matthew Nyes is legitimately very great. And if the Leafs win this series, I'm going to keep that same energy, okay? Right? They still got to get 4. I am printing this. I might paint it on the ceiling. Dude, Simone Benoit tied his career high in scoring this season with 10 points. He had 1 goal. His career high is 3. Heading into last game, he had never scored a playoff point in his life, and he gets a primary assist on a playoff OT winner. Heading into this game, he still had never had a playoff goal, and it is an OT winner. This man has 6 NHL goals in 279 career NHL games. And heading into this game, he had 9 Stanley Cup playoff games played and no goals. If you showed up at the Canadian Tire Center tonight for this game, if you tuned in to this game, if you tune into any game, heading into this game, you had a 2% chance of witnessing a Simone Benoit goal. He has scored a goal in 2% of the games he's ever played. 2.08%. And after this goal, it skyrocketed up to 2.5%. I saw the comparisons made to Corey Cross, who scored an OT winner in the OG Battle of Ontario back in the day. This dude was a depth, no offense, big lumbering defenseman, and he scored an OT winner in the playoffs. Corey Cross had 36 career NHL goals, including 2 in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Between the Stanley Cup playoffs and the regular season, Corey Cross played in 708 career NHL games, scoring 36 times. Your chance of tuning into a game that Corey Cross played in and watching him score was 5%. Do you understand? People like, oh my God, this is this generation's Corey Cross. Corey Cross was more than twice as likely to score in an NHL game than Simone Benoit was in the dead puck era. The Sens were on home ice. They got every call. And Simone Benoit dropped a 3-0 series lead directly on top of their head. To say that I am fired up and ready to drink 2 gallons of milk on my own is an understatement. And now Saturday night in Ottawa, the Leafs have an opportunity to put the Sens away. Questions. This might be the only question that matters, but how confident are you that the Leafs will finish the sweep? 50-50. 50-50. I believe they can do it. I do. Of course, I just watched them win 3 games. I believe they can. The Sens look good in this game. You could argue they were the better team. They were the better team at times, definitely. Were they the better team overall in the game? Up in the air. Up in the air. Sweeping is nice. It's good to sweep. 2 years ago, Leafs were down 3-0 to the Florida Panthers. What do the Leafs do? They win Game 4. They win Game 4. They force Game 5. They lose, but they won that one game. Last year, the Florida Panthers, oh my goodness, they were running the Tampa Bay Lightning out of the playoffs. They were up 3-0, and guess what? Mikhail Sergachev returns to the lineup. Tampa win Game 4, and they force Game 5, and the vibes are high. And if any team could do it, it's not them, because they lost in Game 5. Losing Game 4 does not mean that the comeback is on. Winning Game 4 does not mean that you are cup bound. Listen, as Leaf fans, we've become, we're starving, all right? The current record for playoff wins in a single playoff run for the Matthews Leafs is 5. You need 16. These series that seem so impossible for the Leafs to win, you gotta win 4 of those. So am I confident the Leafs complete the sweep on Saturday? Yeah, I'm decently confident. But I am so much more level-headed. I'm so much more eyes on the prize. I don't think Craig Berube is going, oh, sweep. I just don't think that's the way he thinks. I'm not sure that's the way these Leafs think. Focus on the task at hand. Focus on your style. Focus on what you do best. Focus on wearing them down. Focus on blocking shots. Focus on making Anthony Stoller's life easier. Focus on getting the puck into their end. Focus on getting shots on net. Focus on getting guys in front of Linus Ullmark. Focus on the reasons why you're up 3-0 and not the fact that you are up 3-0. Who is this Simone Benoit guy? You know who Simone Benoit is? He's a guy I debated whether or not to even make a video for when the Leafs signed him. What are the odds this guy is going to play in the NHL? And it is crazy to ask about a guy who played over 70 games the prior season. What's he going to do? And you looked at his numbers on the Ducks, and no, this guy wasn't an offensive dynamo, not even kind of. But he hit, and he killed penalties, and he blocked shots, and he played with so much heart. An undrafted guy. Big-ish. He's gangly. He's not your typical shut-down, big, bruising D. He gives the bruises, and he takes the bruises. He will do whatever it takes for his team. And you're seeing the confidence come out of him. The dude, before he scored this goal, throughout the game, legitimately, you're every time, even though there's, next to no chance of the puck going in, this guy, the more he plays, not just these playoffs, the more he plays as a Leaf, the more he plays like a guy who truly believes in his heart of hearts. When he shoots that puck, it's going in. An unreal teammate. Absolute treasure. That's who Simone Benoit is. You know who he is? He's a player on a team with a 3-0 series lead, and a player who knows the job isn't finished yet. My friends, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. I'm drenched. Like I'm sweating. Oh my God, the playoffs, baby. 3 games in. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. We are recording a Steve Dangle podcast tomorrow at the Sport Check at Maple Leaf Square. And on Saturday, we'll be doing another watch along on the SDPN YouTube channel. I forget where I work. This rules.